time and broke all kinds of streaming records. But Drake's team are claiming some of the streams are fake. According to the paperwork, UMG and Spotify have closed business ties, and in 2023, Spotify paid UMG over $2 billion to license their music and put it on the platform. Streaming money is huge for UMG, and in 2023, the Spotify money was around 20% of UMG's revenue. So Drake's lawyers are basically saying that when an UMG artist pops off and runs up huge numbers, it's good for UMG and Spotify too. Kendrick is on UMG under his deal with Interscope Records, and that's why Drake's team thinks UMG was boosting Not Like Us. The lawyers have some crazy theories about UMG and Spotify too. According to the paperwork, UMG gave Spotify a 30% discount on the licensing for Not Like Us, so Spotify would recommend the track to people who are looking for other songs and artists. Drake's team also said that UMG was using bots to make it seem like Not Like Us was more popular than it really was. But this is where the paperwork gets really sketchy. During the summer of 2024, when the Drake and Kendrick beef was still hot, a random hacker linked up with DJ Academics on the stream and claimed that Kendrick's team paid him to use bots and get 30 million streams for Not Like Us.
Early on, when the song first dropped, it wasn't him. I'm not gonna say he reached out to me himself, because obviously he didn't. It was definitely somebody from management. They wanted me to do 30 million early, which fed into the rest of the views.
The hacker claimed he was supposed to get $5,000 in points on the song too, which everyone knew was cap.
Up front, I was promised 5K.
Okay.
They told me it was for a big artist. Promised 5K up front.
Okay.
They sent me 2.5K, and then I was also promised after the song performed, I was also gonna receive, a little percentage of the song, so points on the song.
Not Like Us was always gonna be a hit, and even getting 1% of the publishing royalties would be huge, and there's no way that Kendrick or his team would give up points like that. The hacker said that Kendrick's team wanted 30 million streams to jumpstart the track and get it poppin', but he never gave any proof. And what makes the situation even funnier is that Drake's legal team is citing this random dude in their legal filing. Citing some random dude who was obviously capping isn't a good look for Drake's team. And if that's the only evidence they have that Not Like Us was botted, there's a good chance the whole case is gonna get thrown out if they try to turn it into a real lawsuit. The paperwork also claimed that UMG paid Apple to use Siri to play Not Like Us. Drake's team said that when people would ask Siri to play Drake's album Certified Lover Boy, Siri would play Not Like Us instead.
Play Certified Lover Boy on Spotify. Psst, I see dead people. That's crazy. That's crazy. Spotify, what's going on?
But the most serious claim that Drake's team is making is that UMG paid people to play the track. Paying radio stations to play songs has been illegal since 1934. And in 2020, the feds decided that paying influencers without telling people was basically the same thing. And in the paperwork, Drake's team said that UMG paid people on social media to promote Not Like Us. The funniest part of the paperwork is when Drake's team just talks about how big Not Like Us got though. They used a whole page to talk about how Not Like Us broke the record for the most streams for a rap song in history, how many weeks it stayed on the charts, and how many views the music video got. Drake's team also made some wild claims that UMG was firing people who were loyal to Drake. And according to the paperwork, Drake had been trying to reach out to UMG to talk about the situation, but UMG didn't want to meet with him. When the news broke that Drake was going the legal route instead of dissing Kendrick again, he got clowned like crazy. But then he made the situation even worse. One day after the first paperwork came out, Drake filed another petition against UMG, and this time it was because he thought they should have blocked Not Like Us from coming out and accused him of paying iHeartRadio to play the track. The second petition said that UMG knew that Not Like Us called Drake a certified pedophile and a predator. Drake's team said that UMG should have blocked Kendrick from dropping the track, but instead they tried to turn it into a viral mega hit. It's wild because Drake admitted straight up that Not Like Us hurt his career. But the dumbest thing about taking it to court is that he was sending crazy shots at Kendrick too. Drake called Kendrick a woman beater on Family Matters and rapped, "We get that you like to put gin in your juice. We get that you think that you Bishop and Juice. When you put your hands on your girl, is it self-defense cause she bigger than you?" And on The Heart Part 6, Drake said it again and rapped, "You could drop 100 more records, I'll see you later. Yeah, maybe when you meet your maker. I don't want to fight with a woman beater, it feeds your nature." Drake didn't have any evidence to back up the crazy shots he was taking at Kendrick, but now he's trying to start lawsuits because Kendrick did the same thing to him. And what makes it even funnier about the bots and streaming drama is that on The Heart Part 6, Drake also rapped, "Stop buying views and bot comments. You may as well keep the paper. Shit you about to need for later. I give a fuck about your streaming data. You could drop 100 more records. I'll see you later." Kendrick and Drake are both under UMG, but Drake is basically saying that they should start blocking diss tracks even though he's been dropping them too. The lawsuit would have been weak even if Drake never dissed Kendrick, but since Drake was calling Kendrick a woman beater, it makes his case even worse. But if Drake does file a lawsuit against UMG and wins, it could change the whole rap game. He's basically saying that the label should be responsible for anything a rapper says on their tracks. So if UMG loses and has to pay out because it didn't block a diss track, that would probably be the end of rap disses forever. Every label in the game would be afraid of getting sued for something their artist said, and that's not going to be good for anyone. Drake would have been clowned for the situation no matter what, but he also picked the worst possible time to start taking things to court. One theory about why Drake is going after the label is because he wants to get out of his deal with Universal. Drake signed a deal with Universal Music Group in 2022 that was rumored to be around $400 million, making it one of the biggest deals in the history of the music industry. Before that, Drake was signed to Cash Money, which was part of Republic Records, another label under UMG. But in 2022, Drake cut a massive deal directly with UMG, which included not only music, but other things like merch and visual media. But even though Drake got a major payday, not everyone thinks it was a good business move. Kanye even rapped about Drake's relationship with the Universal Music Group CEO, Lucien Grange, on a leaked version of the Like That remix where he said, "Where's Lucien? Serve your master, nigga. You caught a little bag for your masters, didn't you? Lifetime deal? I feel bad for niggas." Kanye also said in an interview around the same time that Drake has a rich baby daddy named Lucien Grange and Universal.
Drake has a rich baby daddy named Lucien and Universal.
So basically, Ye was saying that even though Drake got a major bag up front, he was still stuck in a bad deal where he had no control. Some people think that UMG gave Kendrick the green light to start dissing Drake because their deal is almost up. Drake wanted to get out of the contract and go fully independent. So Universal teamed up with Kendrick to hurt Drake's career, so he'd have no choice but to stay in a bad deal, which is why Drake decided to sue them. Another theory is that Drake is scared that Kendrick is going to play Not Like Us during a Super Bowl halftime performance in February, so he's hoping the lawsuit will stop Kendrick from playing it if the case is still ongoing. The same day the news about the lawsuit dropped, Drake also announced his own tour of Australia and New Zealand that starts the same day as the Super Bowl, so it seems like Drake is trying to do whatever he can to take the attention away from Kendrick. A couple days before the paperwork was filed, Kendrick shocked the game when he surprise dropped his album, GNX. And on the first track, Kendrick aired Drake out for trying to pay his homies for dirt and rapped, "Niggas from my city couldn't entertain old boy, promising bank transactions and even Bitcoin. I never pieced it up. That shit don't sit well with me. Before I take a truce, I'll take them to hell with me." Kendrick also aired out anyone who was still rocking with Drake and rapped, "Hey, fuck anybody empathetic to the other side, I vow. A bitch nigga love bitch niggas, they exist with them in style. Exterminate them right now." Kendrick also had bars for Snoop Dogg. Snoop Dogg had posted Drake's Tailor-Made freestyle track, so Kendrick called him out and rapped, "Snoop posted Tailor-Made, I prayed it was the edibles. I couldn't believe it was only right for me to let it go." Snoop gave Kendrick his flowers when GNX dropped and called him the King of the West. But he wasn't the only OG that Kendrick called out on the track. A month before Kendrick dropped the album, the news broke that he was going to be performing at the Super Bowl halftime show in New Orleans in 2025. It was a massive moment for Kendrick, but some people got pressed about it. Lil Wayne is the biggest rapper from New Orleans, and Wayne made it clear he wasn't happy that he didn't get picked to perform in his hometown at the Super Bowl. Wayne said he worked his ass off to be able to play at the Super Bowl, but the opportunity got ripped away from him.
That moment I said to myself, I want to be on stage for the Super Bowl one day in front of my mom. And I worked my ass off to get that fucking position, and it was ripped away from me.
Kendrick has been a fan of Weezy forever, but Wayne decided to whine about the Super Bowl instead of giving Kendrick props. So on the track Whacked Out Murals, Kendrick rapped, "Used to bump the Carter 3, I held my rollie chain proud. Irony, I think my hard work let Lil Wayne down. Whatever though, call me crazy, everybody questionable." Drake and Lil Wayne are obviously tight, but back in the day, Kendrick was in the studio with Lil Wayne and talks about how much his hard work inspired him.
Knocked out about 12 verses, and this is feature Wayne at the moment. And these not no motherfucking fly-by-night verses. This is set right there and thought out right in front of your face and smashing them. And he's excited about it. And he's loving music, and he loves what he's doing. That gave me a whole nother appreciation. And we took that same intensity and that work ethic, and we applied it moving forward.
But now it looks like Wayne might want to smoke with Kendrick too. After the album dropped, Wayne tweeted that he's just chilling, but said, "No one really wants destruction, not even me, but I shall destroy if disturbed." A lot of fans thought it was a corny response because Kendrick didn't really even diss Wayne. According to Joe Budden, Wayne actually tried to call Kendrick about the situation, but Kendrick didn't pick up the phone, so Wayne went to the studio and recorded a diss track.
I'm hearing that somebody picked up the phone, tried to call and see what the energy was. I'm hearing that Kendrick didn't answer. I'm going in the booth. You have until I get in that booth
to
hit me back.
Are we talking about Wayne?
Yes. I'm hearing that Wayne went in the booth.
Drake also tried to make it look like the Super Bowl offered him the spot instead of Kendrick, but he turned it down. It was clear that Drake was pressed about the situation though, and he announced that he was starting his new tour in Australia on the same day as the Super Bowl. And according to NFL sources, Drake had never been offered to perform at the Super Bowl. On the same day as the first paperwork against UMG came out, Drake went on a live stream with a streamer named XQC and talks about the Kendrick beef. Drake introduced himself and said he was fully intact and that you need facts to take him out, not fairy tales.
I'm Drake, this is XQC, real streaming legend. Me, I do music in case you didn't know. I'm here, as you can see, fully intact, mind, body, and soul, in case you were wondering, right?
Mind, body, and soul.
Mind, body, and soul, you need facts to take me out. Fairy tales won't do it.
Then later in the stream, XQC was playing The Weeknd and Drake told him to turn the song off.
You have to switch this song off.
It's on a play, you know, so like.
You have to switch this one.
Drake and The Weeknd are both from Toronto and used to be cool. Drake was posting The Weeknd's music on his OVO blog all the way back in 2010 before The Weeknd blew up, but they allegedly started beefing because Drake wanted to sign them and The Weeknd turned him down. At one point it looked like Drake and The Weeknd had squashed it, but in April 2024, The Weeknd allegedly took a shot at Drake on the track All to Myself and rapped, "They could never diss my brothers, baby," when they got leaks in their operation. I thank God that I never saw my life away. Drake also did Steve Lacy during the stream and called him a fragile op.
This guy's like a fragile op, but it's a good song though.
Steve Lacy is from Compton and performed at Kendrick's The Pop Out concert over the summer, and that's allegedly why Drake is dissing him now. A lot of people drag Drake for going after Steve Lacy like that, and Steve Lacy even clowned Drake on IG after the stream. Then Kendrick's homie Relly posted some texts where Kendrick and him are clowning Drake for the stream too. Right now it seems like every move Drake makes is just digging a bigger hole for himself, and now people are bringing up how Kendrick told him on Meet the Grams, "You lied about the only artist that can offer you some help. Fuck a rap battle, this is a long life battle with yourself." And according to some sources, Kendrick and his team found out about Drake's legal moves before anyone else, and that's why Kendrick surprise dropped his album to take over the headlines. And Kendrick's label allegedly didn't even get the record until the day he dropped it. The rap game was already going crazy when Kendrick dropped like that, so Drake taking the situation to court while Kendrick was still in the headlines was definitely a bad move, and it doesn't look like Kendrick is going to take his foot off the gas anytime soon. A lot of people are calling this the biggest rap beef since Biggie and Pac, and just like them, Kendrick and Drake started out being cool with each other. Back in 2011, Drake featured Kendrick on his track Buried Alive Interlude, and Kendrick shouted Drake out when he rapped, "So blame it on Mr. OVO XO, the reason why I'm breathing all the vanity I know." Then Drake brought Kendrick on tour with him, and on the track 4 p.m. in Calabasas, he rapped, "When they told me take an R&B nigga on the road, and I told them no, and drew for Kendrick and Rocky." ASAP Rocky featured Kendrick and Drake on his track Fucking Problems, then Kendrick put Drake on his track Poetic Justice. It looked like Drake and Kendrick were going to be dropping a lot of music together, but Poetic Justice was the last time they made anything. In 2013, Kendrick dropped his legendary Control verse where he called out all the biggest rappers in the game and said, "I'm usually homeboys with the same niggas I'm rhyming with, but this is hip hop, and them niggas should know what time it is." And that goes for Jermaine Cole, Big Crit, Wale, Pusha T, Meek Mills, ASAP Rocky, Drake, Big Sean, Jay Electron, Tyler, Mac Miller. I got love for you all, but I'm trying to murder you niggas. It was clear that Kendrick was being competitive but showing love at the same time. But Drake got pressed about it and said Kendrick could never murder him in any platform. That's when Kendrick turned up the heat during his BET Hip Hop Awards cypher and rapped, "Nothing's been the same since they dropped Control," and tucked the sensitive rapper back in his pajama clothes. Kendrick and Drake didn't send any crazy shots at each other, but it was clear from that point that they weren't cool either. That all changed though when J. Cole and Drake dropped the track First Person Shooter. J. Cole called himself, Drake, and Kendrick the big three in the rap game. So Kendrick clapped back on Like That and rapped, "Fuck sneak dissing, First Person Shooter, I hope they came with 3 switches. And motherfuck the big 3, nigga, it's just Big Me." After that, Kendrick and Drake started trading diss tracks and turned it into one of the biggest beefs in rap history. For a few months, it looked like Drake was just gonna move on after he lost. But now he's taking it to court, and there's no telling what's gonna happen next. And if Lil Wayne hops in and starts dissing too, the beef could become bigger than ever and drag even more OG rappers into the drama. So stay tuned for updates, cause the beef is far from over.